Astral projection report. This astral projection happened Veleiros neighborhood, in the city of São Paulo, Brazil. I had a very close friend, who was always in my house. He had a lot of rapport with everyone, because he was very correct, very organized, he was. Even though he was young, he was always well dressed, he took great care of himself. We were very good friends. There was something we always talked about, because his star sign was Libra, the same as mine. So, that gave us a super balanced relationship. What happened was that one day, when I was about to project, I saw this friend of mine. He had a car, at that time, the car was an Opala. It had a bad reputation for having the pivot broken, the front wheel pivot. What is it? The pivot was a pin that apparently, I don't know much about mechanics, held the wheel. So, in this projection, I saw this friend of mine going down a parallel street. It was the third street parallel to the house where I lived. He entered the street, I could clearly see this scene, he was at a normal speed. Since I was with him a lot, I knew he didn't like driving fast. And I could see the wheel pivot breaking, the car started turning to the right, and went into the wall of a house, stopping just near the living room wall. That was the image I got, very clear. I saw him getting out of the car very upset. Anyway, it's not a pleasant situation. People checking the accident. I told him what happened. I said, look, what I saw. And I told him exactly what happened. But I told it as if it were a dream. That friend of mine was a spiritualist, he was an umbandist. But he accepted the things I said. We were very close. I'm sorry. The result was. By the way, his wife was also a very good friend. I had introduced them both, they always said that. I reported the situation in front of her too. When the accident happened, both of them came to talk to me. One day, they came to talk to me. They came and he said, Moises, your dream happened, did you know that? I told it was a dream, because people didn't accept astral projections so much that time. I asked him to explain what had happened. He said, exactly the way you said. I entered the street, drove a few meters, the car pivot of the right wheel broke, and I entered the garage of a house. The car hit the wall and the gate, and I went inside it. It was a big deal for him. Of course, an accident is never meaningless for anyone. When he said that, I immediately took my notes. I always had them, and said that precognitive projection had happened. It's my way of confirming these projections. Astral projection is not something that now, scientifically, you can go to a lab and prove, look, this is an astral projection, and use the scientific model, when the event can be carried out by several people under the same conditions. It doesn't work like that. It's an individual variable item. Astral projection is a human thing. There are billions of people on this planet and nobody is the same. You can't make the other person prove it. Unless they are astral projectors too. But then you don't need to prove anything. I think these notes are important, because we can review them. You can also guide people, prove to yourself that it happened, and how it happened.
Orientar as pessoas, comprovar para si mesmo que aquilo aconteceu, em que medidas aquilo aconteceu, e dessa forma a gente
This way, we can make the most of this experience, which I consider an important experience. And evolving within it too, becoming more and more lucid. We're very afraid of doing some things. It's important to do it with common sense, with notes, so that you have things registered.
Bom senso, com anotações, para você ter as coisas registradas, Então, quando a pessoa faz uma projeção
So, when someone has an astral projection, I do think they need to have a notebook on the bedside table. A notebook or anything to write in, or even a little tape recorder. Today people use iPads, computers. Whatever you have, whatever is most practical for you to take notes. Write down everything that crossed your mind, as well as the facts, the feelings, sensations, emotions, because you can use it in another work. I'll be back with more astral projection reports.
Voltarei com mais relatos de projeção astral.
Would you like to participate in a work of energy giving from afar that is benefiting thousands of people? Click on the link below for more information.